What's going on, Gemini? All thanks and praise to the Most High, or welcome back to the channel. Welcome to your collective Gemini reading. For those of y'all that are new here, Gemini readings are done or dropped on Thursdays. Element messages are dropped on Fridays. If those are energies that you're wanting to keep up with, please do make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out, okay? Keep in mind that these are collective messages, so they may or may not resonate with each and every one of you. However, I do offer personal readings. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you check out the link in the description area. These messages are not directed towards any specific area or aspect of your life. However, as the message is being delivered, feel free to pick up what you may deem necessary for you at this time and apply it to whatever area or aspect of your life you feel you need to, okay? With that being said, we are about to get into a general Gemini reading. So let's get into it. And we're pretty much just seeing what it is that Spirit has for you at this time, what Spirit wants you to know and or pay attention to in this moment in time, okay? All thanks and praise to the Most High. You know their hearts and you know their situations. Can you give me the cards that we need in order for us to be able to receive the message at hand with an open mind and an open heart? Ashe. I ask that you provide me with the words to be able to articulate this message as best as possible, as well as clear anything standing in the way of their clarification, confirmation, transformation, and healing at this time. Ashe. Where is it, Spirit? What is it that you have for Geminis at this time? Thank you. Okay. Spirit, is there anything else that we have for Geminis at this time? Thank you. All right. Geminis. Underneath it all, you have the Princess of Cups in reverse, okay? And when she shows up, especially in reverse, she's really calling you to tend to yourself a little bit more, or maybe even a lot of bit more. To tend to yourself a little bit or a lot of bit more. And when I say tend to yourself, taking care of yourself, and not just in a materialistic way, not just in, you know, like that physical way on the outside, right? It's like the internal work that has to be paid more attention to, like the emotional aspects of you and things of that nature, okay? Excuse me. You got the Six of Wands in reverse, the Eight of Wands in reverse. Okay, and then the Three of Discs pops up. So with those three cards, the Princess of Cups, the Six of Wands, and in reverse, and the Eight of Wands, it's like you're showing up, like, how can I say this? It's almost giving, like, you're showing up for others more than you're showing up for yourself. Like, you're spreading yourself thin, right? You really can't take care of you when you're showing up so much and taking care of other people. I guess from like an empty cup. You know how they have that empty cup, empty cup saying, where it's like you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And you can't pour from an empty cup, and there's only so much that you can pour from a cup that's halfway full. So I want you to really pay attention to that and be mindful of how, you know, situations may transpire, especially over the next couple of days, that may cause you to feel like you're obligated to show up for other people, even when you're not like up to it or in the mood, all right? So with that being said, we're going to get into the energies that came out for us, starting off with the Devil in reverse. Okay, so Gemini, when we know shit ain't good for us, and I know, right, it gets complicated to just like cut some stuff off, but right now I need you to really kind of be strong through what you're going through, whether it could be, you know, some type of an addiction, and the addiction does not have to typically be going towards like drugs or alcohol. You can be addicted to a person. You can be addicted to a way of thinking. You can be addicted to something, right? It's really giving this energy of addiction, and it's kind of showing me that this is a way that you kind of cope with your emotions that you need to actually express. You understand that? There are emotions that you need to express, but it's almost like you kind of suppress the emotions with whatever said addiction or whatever vice or bad habit it is. And you want to overcome it. I definitely get like you want to, but I'm not sure if I was about to say, like, I see that you want to. You're moving forward in certain areas, but then it's almost like you give this energy of kind of like playing with yourself, and not in a physical way, but playing with yourself emotionally, right? You'll take off and then you'll start going towards like whatever it is, like you'll set goals and dreams or aspirations. And once again, you know, you get triggered and you allow these emotions to put you in this place or in this space that you're working so hard to come from. And it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing in a sense, but when you notice that when you feel yourself getting triggered, like this is where you got to retrain your brain. This is where you have to rewire something in your brain instead of pretty much falling victim to the thing that you know you want to release. And like I said, I get it, because any type of addiction is hard. I wouldn't give a damn what it is, right? Like, it's hard, and you know, like, damn, I don't even want to do this no more. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. But then you'll put yourself in a position to still have said experience. And then after you have said experience, you'll be feeling some type of way. And I get it. This is why they're saying, like, take care of yourself, right? If you replace those times, say, for instance, if you, I don't know, something happens because you're on a journey, right? You're moving forward, and then boom, something triggers you, and instantly you like, you know what? I'm just gonna go do whatever the addiction is, you know? Instead of just giving into that thought, pay attention to it. It's just a thought. Like the thought, like, it doesn't have to become the action. It can become the thought, and you can be like, yeah, I want it, but I know I don't. You know, my mind is telling me I do, but my body don't want it. So let me go and do something. Like, let me go get a massage. Let me go take a walk. Let me go call somebody I want to talk to. Let me go do something, right? Replace that habit or replace that thought with a different habit, if that makes sense. Like, and it's possible, right? Been there, done that. It is coming into a completion though. Okay? Like, congratulations in advance. If nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. Do you understand? You believe in you. And even where you fall a little bit short, like, that's why I come in, and you're going to be like, okay, at least somebody believes in me. At least I got one person that believes in me, and I do. Okay? And I definitely do. Spirit, can we have more cards for this reading for Gemini? What else is it that you would want Gemini to be aware of or pay attention to at this time? And like I said, don't get so caught up in like, well, I'm not on drugs, or I don't drink, or I don't do this. Like, it can show up in a number of different ways, right? Addictions show up in a number. You can have an addiction to the way that you eat, right? You can have addiction to certain snacks, right? You can have addiction to caffeine. Like, you can. So just be mindful of, just be open-minded to whatever this energy is that they're presenting to you at this time. So right now we got the Prince of Cups that comes up in reverse, and also the Lover's card. Again, I really get the reason why the addiction is even there in the first place. The reason why the addiction is there in the first place, because you were not like allowing yourself to really process certain emotions that you were feeling. And it's not to blame you, because maybe somebody never even showed up to teach you how you were supposed to go through or process certain emotions, how you were supposed to identify certain emotions, right? But this is where the best part comes in for me, okay? Understanding, understanding, overstanding, and accepting with that Lover's card that literally everything that happens is ordained by God, right? God, Source, the Most High, the Creator, whatever you identify that energy as, right? Excuse me. See, you're thinking like, oh, like this wasn't supposed to happen. Like I'm better than this, or whatever the case may be. But I was called to like pick up my Bible this week, and one of the scriptures that like I had to find the scripture because it was like, when do you know when to talk and when to be quiet? Like, you know, like when. And it brought me to, I think it's Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 through 7, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's it. But it's really just telling you, like, there's a time for everything. Like, everything has a season to it, right? A season and a reason. So there's a time for love, there's a time for hate, there's a time to give, there's a time to receive, there's a time to reap, there's a time to sow, there's a time for peace, there's a time for war, and so on and so forth. You understand me? So with this Bible wine showing up, this is a clear indicator for me that you be tripping with yourself, okay? And when I say, look, when I say tripping with yourself, I mean like battling with yourself. You know, looking at what you would consider to be the negative aspects of you, not realizing that like you had to go through whatever it is so you can grow through it, because you have a calling on your life just like everybody else does, right? It becomes, I get, how can I say this? You have a calling on your life just like everybody else does, you know, but certain people pick and choose if they're going to answer the calling, right? Pay attention to it. A lot of the things that you may be experiencing may be something that one of your parents experienced or one of your parents' experienced, right? And they could be still operating in that space, and then now you're operating in that space. But who's going to be strong enough, right? Not even who's going to be willing to break whatever cycle needs to be broken. And I'm seeing that it is you with that 4 of Wands there, right? I'm seeing that it is you with that 4 of Wands there. So, you know, pay attention to you. Pay attention to you and the emotions and the triggers that pop up when it comes to, you know, wanting you to go back or backslide into whatever said addiction is, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your way of thinking, whether it is actually like a physical drug or some alcohol or whatever, right? Like, it's a time for us to overcome and get ready to head into the next level. So, you do that. And when it comes to this card, the adjustment card being underneath it all, those people that you hang around who, you know, birds of a feather flock together type of energy. If it's not a healthy relationship, like, you don't have to hate them, you don't have to dislike them, but you do want to disconnect or detach yourself from it, right? Those trauma bonding situations, those toxic relationships and things of that nature, dysfunctional, right? You want to remove yourself from that, especially when you're placing yourself in a position to level up, because everybody who you've been around thus far, they're not going to be able to grow, right? They're not willing to grow because they don't want to go, or they can't go because they're not willing to grow, whatever. There are people around you who are positive. There are people around you who support you. There are people who are around you that can really empathize with whatever it is that you have going on at this time. So, and I meant to tell y'all way ahead of time, let me know if this resonates and or if you can relate to this message in any type of way, shape, form, or fashion. Make sure that if you have not subscribed to the channel, you do subscribe to the channel, okay? And I will catch y'all later. Please have the most amazing rest of your day or night. Peace.